It's in a memory card protected something.
Okay, you're all set.
The flipboard, he's going to keep count of that.
Yeah, but that's why they were preoccupied. She was asking me, I said,
Grab one of the sheets and you can follow along.
Is it under social services? Yeah. Is in the side.
Greetings to the voters of Madawaska. I call this annual town meeting to order. All town Madawaska residents are asked to please check in with the ballot clerk so that you may vote. Article 1, to choose a moderator at the preside at this meeting. Do I have a motion for a nominator? Get it? Do I have a second? James? Do I have a motion to cease nominations? Motion. Do I have a second? Jim? All of those in favor as Berman as moderator, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Moderator, please come forward to be sworn in.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you here on such a beautiful day. To start off with, Article 2 we won't announce any election results because you have not had an election. Your municipal election will be on June 13th. Before we start any of the articles, I would like to have a motion to allow Gary Picard, a non-resident, who is your town manager, to be able to speak if he is asked any questions at this meeting. I need to have a motion approved by I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. I don't have a lot of rules when I run a town meeting, but I do have a couple, and I want to mention them now, is that I do not take negative motions because it confuses people. So I only take positive motions. In other words, I'm in favor of such and such an article. If you're against it, you vote no. If you're for it, you vote yes. So it keeps things rather simple. So I do not accept none. Are there any people in the audience who are non-residents of Madawaska? Those who are non-residents cannot vote. All right? Okay. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to amend the bylaws of the Finance Committee adopted in 2015. Such amendments include members to be appointed by the Board of Selectmen rather than elected, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to administer and make changes of the Finance Committee bylaws moving forward. Do I have a motion on Article 3? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any comments, discussion, questions on Article 3? There being none, all those in favor of Article 3, please signify. Any opposed? By the way, if you people want to speak on any article, there's a microphone right in front of me on the floor. And if you don't want to go to the microphone, just let us know, and we will have Jacob, the young man with the red shirt, and he has a wireless mic that he can go right to where you're sitting. Okay, Article 4, to elect an open meeting. Those officials not required to be elected by secret ballot. Finance Committee to choose 2 members. Oh, we don't have to vote on Article 4. Okay, so we'll go to Article 5. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $225,000 to a road projects reserve account. The current balance is $360,574.34, and this is recommended by your Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen.
Second part of that library
Oh, okay. We'll take care of Article 5 and we'll go back to that. Thank you.
Now it's on.
Do I have a motion on Article 5? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions, comments, discussion on Article 5? Yes.
Okay, on the roads, I'm going through town here, and I see some roads are very, very small and not wide enough, probably in the near future. The need could probably come out and widen out the road so we got more room to stretch out to get around. But this is all over town. It's also in the back settlement everywhere, but I just thought I'd bring it out tonight. It's about the roads.
Okay.
All over town. I've seen it all already.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, discussion? If not, all those in favor of Article 5, please signify. Those against? We'll go back to Article 4, Library Board of Trustees. To choose 1 member of the Madawaska Library Board of Trustees for a term of 3 years. Do I have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Suzanne John Grove.
Okay. Is there a second to the nomination? I have a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? There being none, all those in favor of the nominee, please signify. Any opposed? Article 6, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $5,000 to the Recreation Facilities Reserve Account. The current balance is $18,000. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 6? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 6, please signify. Any opposed? Article 7. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $25,000 to the Public Works Equipment Reserve Account. The current balance of that account is $111,309.73. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a comment? I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any comments, questions, discussions on Article 7? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 7, please signify. Any opposed? Article 8. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $25,000 to the Fire Truck Reserve Account. The current balance is $75,000. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any comments, questions, or discussions on Article 8? There being none, all those in favor of Article 8, please signify. Any opposed? Article 9. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $48,315 to the Fire Department Capital Repairs Reserve Account. The current balance is $23,911.54. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 9? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 9? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 10, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $48,000 to the Maine Department of Transportation 2021 Sidewalk Project Match Reserve Account. The current balance is $112,031. The explanation is that the 2023 Town Maine Department of Transportation Sidewalk Project is approved, listed in the MDOT 3-year work plan. The project is an 80% MDOT project, 20% town cost share. The town's estimated cost is $177,469.70. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 10? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 10? Yes, sir.
Something else I want to bring up too in Article 10, I've been going by Tim Hortons. I know it's a DOT state regulation on the road, and I'm going in front of Tim Hortons, and I see the road going in through the driveway right now, but it's all cracked in front, and Maine DOT, it's a state project they need to look at, so I just thought I'd bring that up tonight.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on Article 10? There being none, all those in favor of Article 10, please signify. Any opposed? Article 11, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $15,000 to the Fire Station Number 2 Building Repairs Reserve Account. The current balance is $15,000. This is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 11? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 11? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 11, please signify. Any opposed? Article 12, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $25,000 to the Public Works Garage Heating Building Repair Reserve Account. The current balance is $25,000. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 12? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 13, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $5,000 to the Public Library Capital Repair Reserve Account. The current balance is $5,000. This is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 13? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, discussion on Article 13? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 14, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the following general fund estimated revenue sources to be used towards the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget appropriations, thereby decreasing the amount required to be raised in property taxes. Do you want me to read all the different accounts? This is recommended by your Finance Committee, your Board of Selectmen, and the amount in total is $2,897,308. Do I have a motion on Article 14? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 14? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 15, to see if the town will vote to transfer excess fiscal year 23 and 24 ambulance building revenues of $610,000 into the ambulance equipment reserve account. The current balance is $36,357.13. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 15? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, discussion on Article 15? Seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there an explanation why the finance committee did not comment on this one? That's actually an error that was correct. It was recommended by the finance committee.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 15, please signify. Any opposed? Article 16, to see if the town will vote to authorize the transfer of $277,680 from the town's undesignated fund, June 2022 balance, $3,120,341 to be used towards the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget appropriations, thereby decreasing the amount required to be raised in property taxes. And this is recommended by your Finance Committee and your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 16, please signify. Any opposed? Article 17, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the general government department, governing body of town administration, general assistance, municipal building, and elections. Recommended by both the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, $786,812. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 17? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 17, please signify. Any opposed? Article 18, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the Development, Code, and Assessing Department. Recommended by the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, $228,870. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 18? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 18, please signify. Any opposed? Article 19, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for public safety. This is the Ambulance Department, Police Department, Fire Department, Emergency Measures Department, recommended by the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, $1,993,896. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 19? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 19, please signify. Any opposed? Article 20, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the Madawaska Public Library. The Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend $133,244. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 20? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 20, please signify. Any opposed? Article 21, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the Public Works Department. The Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend $1,656,792. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 21? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 22, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the Parks, Recreation, Maintenance, and Safety Complex Department. Recommended by the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, $603,943. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 22? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 23, to to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for town-wide insurances. The Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend $172,609. Do I have a motion on Article 23? I have a motion. A second? I have a second. Any questions, comments, or discussions on Article 23? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 23, please signify. Any opposed? Article 24, to seek what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the intergovernmental department, recommended by the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen, $988,504. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Yes?
Does that include the Chamber of Commerce?
Does that include the Chamber of Commerce?
Is that which article?
Yes, it does. Do I have did I have a motion on there? I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 24? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 24, please signify. Any opposed? Article 25, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for social services. The Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend $21,536. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 25? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 25, please signify. Any opposed? Article 26, to see what sum of money, if any, the town will vote to raise and appropriate for debt service. Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen recommend $762,119. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 26? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 26, please signify. Any opposed? Article 27, to see if the town will vote to ratify the pollution control sewer operation and maintenance and debt service budget in the amount of $1,109,482, and further authorize the Board of Selectmen to determine the due date for sewer bill payments and to set the rate of interest at 8% per annum on the unpaid balance of sewer bills. The Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen both recommend $1,109,482. Do I have a motion on Article 27? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 27? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 27, please signify. Any opposed? Article 28, to see if the town will vote to ratify funds collected from memberships, donations, and other non-property tax revenue to fund and operate the community gym. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 28? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 28? See, do you have a question? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 28, please signify. Any opposed? Article 29, to see if the town will vote or authorize the Board of Selectmen, at their discretion, to accept gift donations of money or other valuables, including real property or land, from individuals, other governmental bodies, or other organizations, providing the gifts do not obligate the town in any way, and that such donations do not exceed a maximum gift amount of $100,000 during any fiscal year. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 29? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 29, please signify. Any opposed? Article 30, to see if the town will authorize the treasurer, under the direction of the Board of Selectmen, to sell and/or dispose of any property acquired through the tax lien mortgage foreclosure process, after first offering the property to the previous owners for payment of all back taxes, fees, and interest, on such terms as they deem advisable and in the best interest of the town, and to sign and execute municipal quitclaim deeds on such property, except that if the Board of Selectmen sells property tax acquired from certain qualifying senior low-income taxpayers, they shall use the sale process required by Title 36, Maine Revised Statutes 943C, if they sell such property to anyone other than the former owners. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 30? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussions on Article 30? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 30, please signify. Any opposed? Article 31, to see if the town will authorize the treasurer, under the direction of the Board of Selectmen, to sell and/or dispose of any property acquired by sewer lien, after first offering the property to the previous owners for payment of all back fees and interest, on such terms as they deem advisable and in the best interest of the town, and to sign and execute municipal quitclaim deeds on such property. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Questions, comments, or discussion on Article 31? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 31, please signify. Any opposed? Article 32, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to set the date that real and personal property taxes for the fiscal year of July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024 will be due and payable by March 15, 2024, and to fix the rate of interest at 8% per annum to be charged on the unpaid amounts beginning March 16, 2024. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion to accept? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 32? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 33, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to set the date that sewer user bills for the fiscal year of July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024 will be due and payable by March 15, 2024, and to fix the rate of interest at 8% per annum to be charged on the unpaid amounts beginning March 16, 2024. And this is recommended by the Board of Selectmen. I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 33? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 34, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell or otherwise dispose of surplus-owned town personal property on such terms and conditions as they deem advisable. And this is recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 34? Yes, ma'am.
Is there a policy or protocol?
Is there a policy or protocol to guide this? To sell or dispose of surplus property.
So it's just as deemed advisable. Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 35, to see if the town will vote to authorize the treasurer, with the advice and consent of the Board of Selectmen, to transfer funds received from the state of Maine for the 2023-2024 snowmobile registration funds to the Madawaska Snowmobile Club for the purpose of maintaining their snowmobile trails. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments or discussion on Article 35? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 36, to see if the town will vote to authorize the town manager, with the advice and consent of the Board of Selectmen, to apply for snowmobile grants from the state of Maine on behalf of the Madawaska Snowmobile Club to maintain trails and to transfer such funds to the Madawaska Snowmobile Club. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 36? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 37, to see if the town will vote to authorize the town manager, with the advice and consent of the Board of Selectmen, to apply for ATV trail grants from the state of Maine on behalf of the Madawaska ATV Club to maintain trails and to transfer such funds to the Madawaska ATV Club. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion on Article 37? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? Article 38. Excuse me. To see if the town will vote to credit the police department receipts to include all fees and fines, parking violations, 25% of campsite rental fees, sex offender fees, dog violation fees, court officer witness for service fees reimbursed by the state, and all funds received from the Department of Justice and other state and governmental agencies as restitution to the Police Car Reserve Fund, and to further authorize the Board of Selectmen to draw from the Police Car Reserve Fund as may deem necessary to purchase a police vehicle and/or police equipment. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion and a second. Do I have any questions on Article 38? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 38, please signify. Article 39, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen on behalf of the town to apply for federal, state, and private foundation grant funds for various projects to benefit the town, such as for housing, roads, or general economic and community development purposes, and to further authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept and expend such grant funds for their intended purposes only, provided that the grants do not oblige the town to provide matching funds or other contributions that have not been previously approved by the voters. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion to accept it and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 39, please signify. Any opposed? Article 40, shall the town of Madawaska vote to approve 2023-2024 community development grant applications for the following: Micro Enterprise Program, Housing Assistance Program, Downtown Revitalization Program, Business Assistance Program, Economic Development Fund Loan Program, Public Infrastructure Program, Maine Department of Conservation Recreational Trails Program, Maine Department Safe Routes to School Program, Maine Department of Transportation Quality Community Program, SDK Foundation Grants, USDA Rural Development, Federal Emergency Management Grants, Maine Cops Hiring Program, FEMA assistance to firefighters grants, grants.gov EMS programs, Maine Community Foundation, Economic Development Administration, Northern Borders Regional Commission, DECD Business Friendly, DECD Community Development Block Grant, County of Aroostook American Rescue Plan Act Program, and to submit the same to the Department of Economic and Community Development and/or USDA Rural Development and/or Maine DOT and/or Maine Department of Conservation and/or Maine Community Foundation and/or STK Foundation, and if said program is approved, to authorize the municipal officers to accept such grant funds, to make such assurances, assume such responsibilities, and exercise such authority as are necessary and reasonable to implement such programs, and fund our local matching share to unappropriated reserves and in-kind services, recommended by your board of selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 40? And I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this long amendment? Yeah.
Does the bicycle park still go under the downtown revitalization program?
So the Bicentennial Park work could fall under the downtown revitalization program because it's in the, when it was approved, there's a map of that area that encompasses the Bicentennial Park.
Any other questions or comments, discussion? Yeah.
I got one question about the Bicentennial Park. I know that section where they play the music on the stage, I wonder if that area is supposed to be remodeled. They took it down last year. I noticed that the whole shebang was supposed to probably be done this year, but I don't know if it's possible if that's going to be done. So I thought I'd bring it up tonight. That's the stage here I was talking about. That was, the old one was torn down last year, okay? And then they were supposed to build a new one this year. I don't know if that's been done yet.
So it's not going to get built this year because we're still fundraising for that.
Oh, okay.
We're still
Funny.
looking at the engineering for that, but it's a complex project because it has to be engineered for public safety.
Oh.
And so, you know,
So it's going to go to safety.
We are working towards.
Yeah.
And realistically, it's probably a next year project.
So that won't be done until next year.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the business assistance program and the DECD business friendly? Can you explain that to the chamber board of directors, please?
So that is the Department of Economic and Community Development. They have various programs that they offer. They change from year to year. Every year, the state in January roughly issues a program statement, how the programs are going to run, what kind of funding, what they're really looking to fund, and they issue that to the towns, and then we look to see whether or not there's things that we want to apply for. So all this does is it gives us permission to go into those programs and make applications and receive those funds. Yeah.
Question back here.
It's a pretty exhaustive list, but what if another grant comes up that's not covered? Does that accept, does that, do you
So-
have to come back to town meeting?
Yeah, so it's an exhaustive list. I think we capture as many as we possibly can, but if we did find a grant opportunity and we're so fortunate to get it, that was not on this list, we would have to come to town meeting to get that authorization. What's different on this list this year, you'll notice the last thing that we added, if you can remember from last year, was the County of Aroostook ARPA program. That wasn't in there last year, but we put it in there because we're thinking that we might have an application going to them. So we need to get that pre-authorization. But there may be some that we miss, and we'd like to think that we got it all there. Not going to apply to all of these different agencies, but in case there's an opportunity that we can, we would like to be able to do so.
Would it be helpful to include language that states and other grant opportunities for which the Board of Selectmen can approve?
I agree. In some circumstances that works, but the agencies actually like to see their needs there on there. So especially like CDBG and that, we really want to see their name in that authorization, not a blanket catch-all for everything.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? If not, all those in favor of Article 40, please signify. Any opposed? Article 41, to see if the town will vote to transfer insurance revenues generated from fire department calls to the fire department equipment reserve. And this is recommended by your board of selectmen. I have a motion, I have a second. Any questions or comments, discussion on Article 41? If not, all those in favor, please signify. Any opposed? To see if the town will vote to authorize the transfer of $350,000 from the town's undesignated fund, June 20, 2022 balance, $3,120,341 into a credit reserve account to provide for reserve funds which may be applied in periods of financial emergency to assist in continuing normal municipal operations without increasing the tax rate. Such account established in accordance with Maine Revised Statutes, subparagraph 50183. Current balance is $450,000. An explanation of this authorizes the establishment of such accounts by the town's legislative body, limits the annual appropriation to such accounts to 5% of the current tax commitment. 2023 town limit $388,081, and requires a determination by the legislative body that a final emergency exists. And this is recommended by your board of selectmen. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article? Oh, I'm sorry.
Did we go from 3 million down to 450,000 in a year, not even a year?
No, the balance is not 3 million, it's the current balance of that reserve account is at 450. What this does, it takes money from the undesignated fund balance, which is $3,120,341, that's in parentheses. The current balance down below is that balance of that emergency credit reserve.
I misunderstood it, thank you.
Any other comments or questions, discussion? There being none, all those in favor of Article 42? Any opposed? Article 43, and this will require a written voting ballot, and it's required by statute. To see if the town will vote to permanently increase the property tax levy limit for the town of Madawaska by state of Maine law in the event that foregoing articles of municipal budgets will result in a tax commitment that is greater than the property tax limit. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 43?
I'd like a clarification or explain what's the reason for this
So the tax levy limit is a LD1 from way back in the day, and it ties, what it attempts to do is tie municipal budgets to property growth. And there's a very extensive formula that the state uses. They give us a property growth factor, and we have to plug in a bunch of numbers to determine if we've exceeded what they call our tax levy limit. Not a lot of towns follow this anymore. Every year, what has happened is if we exceed the levy limit, we have to ask the townspeople to increase it, to approve that. And if we have not exceeded the levy limit, then we don't vote on it. because we didn't exceed. So what we're asking is that we want to permanently exceed the levy limit, so that we don't have to do this every single year. It has to be done by secret ballot. This year, the levy limit was exceeded by $174,312. What would happen is if you decided not to do that, we would have to go back and drop our budget elsewhere, so to get that number below the levy limit. So all we're asking is for permission to increase the levy limit permanently.
And then, yeah,
Is there a reason why the select board has not given their blessing on this one?
Actually, there's no reason, it's just oversight that I didn't put that on the article in the warrant.
so is your question, is the board in favor of this? Can we get a response from the board? Okay. The board is in favor of this.
I was gonna watch their TV.
Any other questions or comments on Article 43? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 43?
It's a written.
Oh, it's a secret ballot. Have we got the ballot over here? Are the ladies all set for this? Has everybody who wants to vote had a chance to vote? They will look at the ballot. Okay, the results of that vote is 28 in favor and 7 against, so it's an approved article, Article 43. Article 44, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to expend monies from the American Rescue Plan Act for the purposes of, but not limited to, town infrastructure and broadband improvement projects. This is recommended by our Board of Selectmen, and I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 44? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 44, please signify. Any opposed? Article 45, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into lease-owned agreements for the town fleet equipment and to withdraw from the town undesignated fund, June 20, 2022, balance $3,120,341 for the initial lease/own payments on such lease-own agreements. And this is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing none, no, yes.
So there is no set limit.
There is no set limit on here. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 45, please signify. Any opposed? Article 46, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to exchange land of approximate size and value located at the Midtown Shopping Plaza with the Inn of Acadia. Such land located on tax map 3, lots 70 and 73. The purpose of the exchange is for the development of the town's multi-use recreational trail. This is recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion on Article 46? I have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? Yeah?
Just like to make the comment that I think this is a wonderful opportunity for the town to bring snowmobiles into our downtown area. And if we have to get creative to do that like you've done here, I think that's outstanding. The only comment I'd like to make is that we have other sections of town that can continue to improve to get access for snowmobiles. And if we can continue to get creative like this down the road, my goodness, let's keep it up, because this is, to me, this is a real winner for all of us in the community to get sleds into town. And if we can take this type of creativity into the other areas of town, wherever that may be, to get snowmobiles into the community, I think that's great. So wonderful job.
Thank you, Colin. It's always nice to get a compliment, so we'll take that. Article 47 is built upon what you're talking about, the next article. If there are places where we can acquire easements for recreational trail, we have to go to the town's legislative body, which is you folks, in order to get those. So we are asking for that authorization to be able to accept easements where we think we need them to develop a trail system. So we wouldn't have to come back to town meeting, special town meeting for that.
Question over here.
I was gonna say, basically what he said, he just put it in a much better way, so, kudos. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Just one more. Just want to bring up, I noticed that where the old Kmart was, that building's been empty for quite a while now. And I I'm just wondering if something else has got to go in there probably later on in the future. I'm just wondering if it's possible, maybe take a look at it, see if the building will be safe inside. You know, depends what you want to put in it, but try to get something like Walmart in town so it can save people from going out of town. I'll bring this up tonight.
Thank you all for your concern. So I can give you, I can tell you, it's not the town's building for one thing, so we couldn't control the outcome, but I will say that there is some movement on the Kimber building. Some interested developers that are kicking tires on it, so which is promising. They're very interested in all the work that we're doing there. Fish River Rural Health's new fish health a medical facility that's going to be built there this year, or hopefully, or if not next year. So there's a lot of movement there that's happening, and good things are coming.
No, I'm just wanting to see what's got to go in there. That's the only thing I'm asking.
Any other comments, discussion, questions on Article 46? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 46? Any opposed? Article 47, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept easements for the purpose of multi-use recreational trail access. This is recommended by your Board of Selectmen. I have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments, or discussion on Article 47? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 47, please signify. Any opposed? I believe this is all that we have, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming here, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor? Thank you very much.